How do you improve upon perfection? The Benchmade Osborne 940 is widely regarded as the perfect EDC knife. So how do you improve it? By making it an automatic. In this video, we're going to review the Benchmade Osborne 9400. And I'm going to tell you if Benchmade has perfected the perfect EDC knife. Let's go inside and take a look at the Benchmade Osborne 9400. Hello and welcome back to Blade Insider, where we discuss all things knives. Today we're reviewing the Benchmade Osborne 9400. The 9400 is almost the same knife as the Osborne 940 with some key differences. First, the 9400 is an automatic. Second, there is no access lock on this blade. You disengage the blade by pressing the spring-loaded button. Third, the 9400 has a redesigned clip. Most clips on the old Osbornes were replaced anyway. And finally, the knife has a lock. This prevents the blade from accidentally opening up in your pocket. In this episode, I'm going to review this knife looking at 5 factors that I use when deciding to purchase a knife. These are design and aesthetics, carryability, materials used in the knife, utility, and value. I hope you enjoy this review. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to keep it going. And please hit the like button if you get something out of this review. The Osborne 940 has often been called the perfect EDC knife. This is based on its ergonomic handle, size, weight, and blade shape. In addition, it often rates in the top 10 of various lists by experts and reviewers alike. The 940 was designed by an Australian cattle ranch hand named Walter Osborne for Benchmade. This year marks the 20th anniversary of the iconic knife design. Benchmade is celebrating with the 940 Special Edition and the 9400. The 940 Special Edition is a titanium scale version of the knife limited to 2,000 units. This quickly sold out. The 9400 is an automatic version of the original. Other than these special editions, Benchmade currently sells 3 versions of this knife. The 940 is the original version with green aluminum scales that sells for about $187. The 940-1 has carbon fiber scales in S90V steel. This sells for $272. The third version is the 940-2. It has G10 scales and sells for $175. The newest version, the 9400, has aluminum scales and sells for $229. Before the 9400, I own the 94-1. There are several knives that I've handled and just had to buy on the spot because of their action or their ergonomics or just based upon their looks. And they've all been Benchmade knives. This is what happened when I handled the 940-1. The feel of the carbon fiber scales combined with its weight and looks made it a must-buy for me. If we take a closer look at this knife, we see that it has thumb studs and an access lock. The action on this knife is fantastic, and it's hard to beat the access lock for a locking mechanism on a knife. The access lock is consistently loved by knife enthusiasts. You'll notice on the back of this knife that I've changed out the clip with a lynch clip. One of the first things people usually do when they get this knife is to call Benchmade and request a deep carry clip. It looks like they'll continue to do that with the 9400. Let's go to the bench and take a closer look at the 9400. Whenever we review a knife, we look at 5 factors that are important to me when I decide to buy the knife. I rate these factors on a scale of 1 to 5. Then I come up with an overall score for the knife. Our first factor is design and aesthetics. There's a reason why so many reviewers have called this knife the perfect EDC. My favorite characteristics about the knife design include the blade shape and handle. The blade is a reverse tanto and the grind is very distinctive. The handles are thin and ergonomic. I originally purchased the 940-1 over the 940 because of the carbon fiber scales. However, I always liked the look of the green anodized aluminum scales and the Joker purple backspacer. It makes it a very distinctive looking knife. Also, the knife wears well. The green anodization and the black on the clip will wear over time, giving this knife a distinctive look, almost a patina particular to that knife. Some of the changes from the 940 to the 9400 include less jimping on the back of the scale. The only jimping here is on the lock, and there's no jimping along the finger rest. The knife is missing the access lock and has a locking mechanism consistent with an automatic. But I don't think any of these changes got in the way of the design and aesthetics of the original 940. For this category, the knife gets a 5 out of 5. The next factor is how the knife carries. Again, this has always been a strong trait of the 940s. Let's run the tail of the tape on this knife. Overall length is 7.87 inches. The blade length is 3.4 inches. The blade material is CPM S30V steel. It's a reverse tanto style blade with a flat grind and satin finish. The handle length is 4.47 inches. Handle material is aluminum. It has stainless steel liners and weighs 2.65 ounces. This knife feels right in your hands. The handle is 4.5 inches, so it fits well in my large hands. But the handle is thin enough so it doesn't create any hot spots on the knife. Let's take a look and see how this knife fits in a pair of jeans. Okay, this is a mixed bag. The clip is still awful on this knife. Let me show you how it clips into a pair of jeans. It's one of the most difficult knives to get in and out of a pair of jeans. You'll probably want to get a replacement clip from Benchmade or purchase one from another vendor. But for getting the clip, the knife carries well. The knife is so thin that it slides right into the edge of your pocket. You hardly realize that it's there. You know how I like knives that fit into the watch pocket, but I don't really mind this knife in the larger pocket because it doesn't get in the way. You can put your phone, keys, or wallet in your pocket and have plenty of room. And the knife is also very light. In fact, the knife weighs less than the original 940. The knife also has the lock, which gives you peace of mind that it won't deploy in your pocket. For carryability, this knife gets a 3.5 out of 5 because of the clip issue. Without the clip issue, the knife would get a 5 out of 5. Let's look at the materials in this knife. The knife consists of S30V steel and 6061-T6 aluminum handles. I do like S30V steel. According to the Knife Steel Nerd Edge Retention Study, the S30V steel is on the high end of steels for edge retention and outperformed M4, CPM 154, D2, and surprisingly S35V steel. That is because there is more vanadium in this blade than there are in those other steels. The Knife Steel Nerd has a great article on the history of S30V steel from Crucible Industries. I will link to that article down below. Essentially, this article states that the steel was designed with knife makers and offers a good balance in grindability, corrosion resistance, toughness, and edge retention. It beats out LMAX and BG42, but performs a bit worse than S90V steel and M390 steel. In regards to the aluminum handles, they will grow on you. They feel awkward at first, but the green anodized scales wear well into a unique look. For materials, I will rate this knife a 4 out of 5. The fourth category is knife utility. The important characteristics under this category is how the knife opens and closes and how the knife is used. The knife kicks like a mule when you open it. It has a nice, satisfying metallic click when opened. It also has good tension when you close it. The lock works well on this knife, and once engaged, it won't accidentally open while in your pocket. The blade on my knife was a little loose when I bought it, and it's tricky to adjust the pivot to tighten that blade up without tightening it too much so it won't open when engaged. The knife came sharp from Benchmade with even grinds on the blade. Let me take a minute and show you how it cuts. For utility, I will give this knife a 4.5 out of 5. The last category is value. This has always been the 940's Achilles heel. $185 for the original Osborne seemed pricey. $272 for the carbon fiber 940-1 is highway robbery. So at $229, is this knife worth it? What does it compare to? Maybe some designs from ProTech. The plain Jane Bren 3 from ProTech retails for $210, and that knife is not listed as one of the best EDC knives of all time. So I think at $229, the 9400 is reasonably priced, and you can get that price down with various vendor discounts. While it may be reasonably priced, it's not a value. I'm giving this knife a 4 out of 5. That is the Osborne 9400. What do you think? If we add up all the scores, the knife would get a 4.1 out of 5. I would probably raise that overall score to 4.5. The carryability, materials, and value hold this knife back from being the perfect knife. But the knife is no slouch either. Like I said earlier, I've been wanting the aluminum original 940 version for a while. I really like the looks of this knife. I probably would have picked one up too if the 9400 didn't come out. Also, you're always going to pay a premium for the Benchmade Butterfly, justified or not. You can get deals on Benchmade products. You just have to be patient and diligent. But still, the knife is near perfect and, in my opinion, improved from the original. Nothing perfects perfect like making a knife in automatic. It has everything that made the 940 an awesome knife, but with automatic action. Well, do you prefer automatics or thumb stud openers? What about flippers? Let me know your preference in the comment section below. Also, if you own any version of the 940, tell me what your opinion of the knife is. And finally, do you agree that the 940 is one of the best EDC knives out there? What are better knives? While you're down in the comment section, hit the subscribe button and hit the like button if you made it through this entire video. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications of new content. We'll see you next time.